Wow, morning YouTube. Just had to get out really. Took a fit in my head last night and disappeared out for a couple of days camping. I'm just going to use my my basic sort of peat cooker, you know, just the run-of-the-mill stuff you could throw in a pack and be pretty self-sufficient for maybe one or two people. You know, that's pretty much all the kit that I've got out. So let's show you, let's give you a closer look. Okay, so the side opens by a two-way zip, and it's got a storm flap with Velcro, so the seal is pretty good. It did rain quite heavily early hours of this morning, and no leaks or anything like that. As you can see from the ground sheet, it's got a sewn-in ground sheet, but it's a sort of tub type system where it goes 6 inches up the side of the tent, so even if the ground is sodden, you know, it shouldn't enter your tent. It's a tent and a fly type system, so there's a 4-inch gap between the inner tent and the outer fly sheet, and that 4-inch air barrier is what keeps you warm and dry. Let's have a look inside. So you've seen one tent, you've seen them all, right? This is a two-man tent, but I'm a fairly big lump, you know, I'm 6'2", I go maybe over 200 pounds, so plenty of room in there for just myself and a little bit of kit. I love these pockets, you know, these pockets are on both sides, and what I do is I normally keep a lighter and some matches in that little pocket there, with you know, your phone, your watch, your bracelets, keys, all that sort of stuff, you know, just stuff you want to hand. And obviously I can light my lantern for a couple of hours in the evening if I want to. You know, that's a great little lantern. It's a 9-hour candle. Just slide the glass down, light the candle. Maybe I'll give you a closer look at that in a second. Once I'm in the tent, a few basics that I sort of always have to hand is I'll always make myself a flask before I bed down for the night, and I just put boiling water in it, because boiling water will stay warmer than tea or coffee. And that little tub there is powdered milk and sugar, so normally I do a 3-to-1 mix of powdered milk and sugar with half a dozen tea bags on the top. So I want to make myself a brew in the middle of the night, I can, with a sort of bar of chocolate there, just to get me through the night if I get the munchies. Another sewn-in pocket on the side there. What I keep in there is my compression sack for my sleeping bag. Now, I think it probably goes back to my sort of scout days, but my old scout master always taught me one blanket underneath you is worth two on top. So that's an old ambulance blanket that I just throw in my camping box, but on top of my Thermarest mattress, and I was absolutely peachy last night. You know, I have to turn around and say way too warm. I mean, bear in mind I'm still using a 4-season sleeping bag, and what I was doing was just sleeping on top of it, to be truth. I think the early hours of the morning I might have just dragged it over me, but really good night's sleep. This tent gets put up in a matter of minutes. It's literally sort of one hooped pole and half a dozen tent pegs, and you're set. So that's my little two-man tent. Probably weighs a couple of kilos, so you know, not the most backpackable thing in the world. It's got windows on both sides, so you can open the inner doors to the tent and have the light absolutely pouring in, but still have your privacy. It's really straightforward to get in and out of. It's a great two-man tent. Let me just tell you what it's called in case anyone wants one. There you go. Coleman's Bedrock 2. So pretty straightforward. I like these translucent panels, you know, because obviously they let the light in. And inside the tent there are sort of mesh ventilation panels, so that your breath, you know, can get out, you don't wake up and it's sort of claustrophobic and musty, shall we say. But been really pleased with it, and like I say, this is just my little two-man tent that I sling up. In truth, I've got it out because I've got a bit of a trip coming up And normally I would take a basher, but I'm really thinking about the viability of taking this little tent instead, because it is such a big step forward. In bad weather you can put your little cooker down by my trainers and just cook just outside the tent, you know, and not have to get in and out if it's pouring with rain, which more often than not it is in the UK. Let's show you my little peak cooker. Okay, again, so that's my little Peak petrol cooker, dual fuel cooker, some spare unleaded petrol and a bottle of water, and that's me fixed. Let's get it out of the billy can for you. Okay, so that's the peak cooker open. That's the peak cooker. The billy can is a you know, a boiling vessel in itself. The little one on the left just fits on the top as a lid, gives you an enclosed boiling vessel, really quick. Petrol obviously, but it can burn pretty much anything. I bought this one in 1984, you know, and it's bar taking it apart and giving it a good clean, I've never done anything to it. Still works brilliantly. Great little cooker, although there is a sort of second generation of this stove about, but the technology is pretty much the same. In the pot I normally carry a lighter and a Brillo pad to clean the pot with, some toilet paper, wooden spoon, and then the pot handle that you just pick it up with to stop you burning your fingers, and a little bottle of fuel. But that's me set. What I'm going to do now is get some porridge on. Okay, so there's breakfast on for a brew and a bit of porridge. Now off to the ablutions. So these are my two systems for ablutions. Top secret, absolute emergency ablutions are a bar towel and some antiseptic hand gel. That with a drop of water is the bare minimum to keep yourself kind of clean on the move. And my preferred system is this. Let me open it up for you. So it's just a basic rolled up towel, and what I've done is just modified it slightly. Okay, so cheap towel from a pound shop, and then all I've done is just folded the end of the towel over, sewn it into some pockets on a sewing machine, and that's where my kit lives. So disposable toothbrushes, a couple of disposable toothbrushes, and some toothpaste, some antiseptic foot powder, nail clippers, spare blades for my razor, mirrors, soap, which obviously lavers up to give you a shave, and a boot brush and a tin of polish. That's your ablutions done. So on that note, off to have a quick wash and shave. This little peak cooker is just the business, mate. Okay, what I'm going to do then is just put a little bit of this hot water to one side to make myself a brew. Top the flask up for the trip home. That's a great trick, you know. Try and get in the habit of filling a thermos flask up before you go to bed, so when you get up in the morning you've got a brew straight away, you can cook your breakfast, you haven't got the aggravation of having to start a fire or light the burner. And if you want to brew in the middle of the night, it's there for you. Okay, so I'm going to use this as my sort of bowl, but that's my boiling water. These are just good old-fashioned Scots porridge oats, but a bit of carbohydrate, mate, can't beat it. Another super duper trick if you've got a sweet tooth. This is a Mars sort of chocolate caramel bar that we have here in the UK, but just break it up, pop it in your porridge, let it melt, you end up with this beautiful chocolate porridge. Same again with your tea then, just milk and sugar mix. Stick a tea bag in it. Cup of tea. Wow, okay, so chocolate porridge and a lovely cup of tea. How bad's that? This is something I've been meaning to say to people for ages. If you've got a tent, or if you've got a hammock, and you set up your mosquito net or your insect barrier, you know, you've got to keep it closed from the moment you set your tent up to the moment you get in it. Keep it closed, otherwise what happens is insects get in it, you get in it at night, zip it up, and they feast on you until dawn. So when you set your tent up, if it's got an insect barrier, keep it closed until you're getting in it. Okay YouTube, I've been here about 18 hours, maybe a little bit longer. That's all the rubbish that I've generated, that's all the rubbish I'm taking home. Try to leave it as you find it. Okay, candle lantern. I've had this one a good maybe 5 years, but the one I had before that, mate, I must have had at least 10. It's just a candle lantern. Takes a this one takes a 9-hour candle. The way it works is it's got a spring in the bottom, and what happens is it pushes the candle up as it burns down. And like I say, lasts 9 hours. If you want to learn to make yourself a cheap one of these, check out Mike at Animal Tendencies. He's just done a brilliant video on how to make a DIY one of these, but this is the real deal, and it's a great bit of kit. You know, I have it on in the tent for maybe the hour before I go to sleep, you know, if I want a little bit of a read. The other thing that these things will do for you is that they will heat your tent a treat. So that's how you light it. You literally just slide the glass down, put your flame in there, light the candle, and then slide the glass back up, and the little chain, hang it up in your tent. If I can get it far enough away from the camera for you. Yeah, hang it up in your tent. It's great. It's a heat source, enough light to do pretty much anything you want by, and you would be amazed at how quickly your tent warms up with one of these going in it. Candle lantern. So as you can see, just one hoop. Good ventilation in a tent, right above your head as you're sleeping. So, like I say, all your stale breath escapes from the tent overnight. Really simple, 5 minutes to put up. Great little two-man tent. Last little pearl of wisdom, YouTube. If your tent's got 20 pegs, put 20 pegs in it. You know, if you put your tent up and think, oh, I need 2 at the bottom and 2 at the top, you know, and then you get... This morning it really rained quite heavily. Because I put the tent up properly, all the pegs in it, you know, it didn't have a problem, didn't leak, it was great. You know, I literally just listened to the rain, put a pattern on the tent, and it was beautiful. But completely different scenario when you're laying there at 4:40 in the morning and the tent starts to leak. So when you put your basher up, when you put your tent up, do it properly the first time. Don't cut any corners, put all the pegs in it, it'll serve you well. It's the only way to do it. Okay YouTube, that's the tent packed up, 2.5 kilos. It's you know, fair size package, but it would strap under the lid of your Bergen, or maybe strap to the side. It's not the end of the world to carry that instead of a tarp. What I normally do is, that's my Thermarest bedroll. I normally put them both in that bag, and that's how they're packed. Okay, so we're probably up to 3 kilos now with the tent and my Thermarest bedroll in that bag. Like I say, under the lid of your Bergen or strapped to the side. It's not the end of the world to carry that. So as always YouTube, any comments, love to hear them. Back soon.